everybody, and today we are here with another board game review. Today we will be reviewing Patchwork.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will be telling you that why you should play Patchwork. Now Patchwork is a classic tile-laying game from Uwe Rosenberg. This is limited to 2 players only and it is considered one of the kind of essential game lines for 2 players. Uwe Rosenberg is famous for polynomial games and this game is no difference. So polynomial means Tetris kind of shapes, but it has more shapes than your regular Tetris. Now
It has more odd shapes, you could say.
and the theme of this game is going to be that you are going to be making a quilt. So these are our blank quilts right now where we will be purchasing these different patches, and by stitching these patches we want to make a quilt. And the person who makes the most point worthy quilt as well as the most fulfilling quilt with the least holes is going to be the winner. Now how the game actually works, let's get into it. It's a very simple rondel mechanic in which you will be placing all the tiles that come in the game in a circle, and you will be placing the pawn randomly anywhere to start the game. And once the pawn is here, that determines that in front of it, the 3 next pieces, these are what the players can actually buy. So for example, if the pawn was here, each of these pieces are going to have some information on it. The main information is that, for example, how much is going to be the cost to buy that one, and how much is going to be the time that is required to actually stitch that piece on there. The time is tracked on this central board. So as you pass the time, this tracker will keep on going in circles, and as soon as it reaches the end, then that means you have reached the end cycle and your time to actually make the quilt is over. Every player is going to start from the beginning. Once they are there, for example, if I want to purchase this one has no cost mentioned on it, but it's going to take 3 times. Another important feature that these pieces are going to be, or the currency is going to be, these buttons. Once I make a patch which is going to be, let's say I place it here, I can place it anywhere on my quilt. Once I place it here and this shows a button, next time these buttons are what I'm going to use to buy any other pieces. Once I buy them, I will be paying them back to the bank. As soon as this tracker crosses any of these button symbols,
Mind you, tailor bank. We don't pay buttons to an actual bank.
yeah, this crosses the button symbol, that means that's how much currency we can take back. At that time we will see on the board how many button symbols have we already stitched on our board, and based on that, that's the amount of money you're going to get back. So for example, I took this turn. Ishal will now be able to see the next 3 ones, and every player starts with 5 buttons in the beginning. So this piece, for example, is going to cost 10 buttons. So it's going to be very hard to purchase this one. So which one do you want to purchase? The 2 button which passes, I use my 3 time. Now Ishal is in the back. Whichever player is left in the back, that gets that many turns. So if, let's say, Ishal buys this one, pay 2 buttons, and she will get to place it anywhere. She will get to move 2 spaces based on the type of piece she bought. Since she moved 2 spaces, she is still behind me. So you will still get another turn. Until the previous player surpasses the next player, the previous player will keep getting more and more turns. So you can plan this thing out at how you want to proceed. So from the next ones, which piece do you want to get?
I cannot see.
Well, you will not be able to get again the 10 one or the 7 one, but you can get the 3 button price one, and which is going to spend 2.
Take my money.
And maybe she'll place it here, right?
Yeah.
Once this 2 time passes, it goes here. The turn comes back to me. This pawn moves ahead. If I try to select a pawn far ahead, let's say I was able to purchase this one by paying whatever was the button prices and place this one, the pawn will move to the next space where from where I pick this up. And that means now the next three are going to become available. And I have to place this. So if I now once a patch is there, I cannot shift them. So I cannot place like this. So I will be stuck with this kind of shape if that's what I have procured. And I will have to somehow hope I can cover this gap. And the next pieces will become available to the next player. Based on this, I will be moving 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is an example that where I cross the button. At this stage, I have, for example, 3 and 4 buttons. So I will be getting 4 buttons back in my bank. When Ishal will cross this space by taking one of these, for example, she buys, and if she doesn't have the money to buy any of them, one of the things she can do is just move one space to get some buttons as well. But at this stage, she will be passing through the button space. She will be getting additional money for just passing a turn as well. So you are never stuck. You can always move and get a button just for wasting time that you went out to get some buttons. In this way, the game will continue. Another one last thing that actually happens in this game is at some specific locations, there are these leather patches.
You just broke the barrier.
On the score pad, on the score track. Once whoever, so there is kind of a race as well that who passes this portion first. Whoever passes it first, let's say Ishal was the first one to cross this space, then Ishal will get this patch, and if she has any hole, she will get to fill those holes with the singular ones, because there are no single patches in the outside big patches that we have.
Like this.
And yeah, so these single patches are really good at filling these empty spaces. So players may want to get some pieces which are bigger ones, which are going to take more time and are going to be give the possibility for them to get these single patches before the other player. And in this way, the game will continue. You will keep getting buttons whenever these button symbols are crossed on the score track, and you will keep making your quilt. And that's the game.
Yeah, that's literally it. Until someone reaches here, or at least both players, then that's the game. Nothing special.
So Ishal, what do you think about the game?
Well, I would say gameplay-wise, it's a very nice game. I very like the little Tetris pieces and placing them. Art-wise, I'm not really a big fan of it. I like bright colors, not really bright, but pastel, or not really this dull. So
yeah, these are old patches, like the cloth has gone old and you're taking from them, but that's what the classic Patchwork game is. Now there are, I think, 2 new versions available of Patchwork anyway, which are, one is the Halloween edition, which has very bright colors. One is the Christmas edition, which even comes with a cookie cutter. So you can make cookies and use that cutter to cut with it.
Okay, hold on.
And they are now releasing nationality based, or what you should say, cultural based Patchwork theme games as well. So for example, one will be, I think, Poland or something, which will use the patrons of Poland, what patrons they use. So different themes are going to come. So we have seen those Patchwork games. So if you're looking for a slightly different theme, the game is going to be the same, but you can get different patrons of the game now, which are available for Patchwork.
Can I just do something really quick?
Yes.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers. Okay, no. October is over. Halloween is over. It's now Christmas.
But again, that Halloween version does look more beautiful than the standard Patchwork, but this is the classic version of Patchwork. Gameplay wise, there is minimalistic change in between them. Now, Isha, who do you recommend this game for?
If you like really simple style games that don't require a lot of thinking or strategy, then I think this game might be for you. And also if you feel satisfaction in just placing patches.
Yeah, even though the graphics of this one may not be up to the modern level, and that's why they are coming with new versions, but still, once your pattern is getting completed, there is a level of satisfaction that you get on seeing, and you want to not waste time and fill these hole. For example, if I have a hole here, I have a hole here, I do want these single patches so that I don't have any holes left. If you are able to make a 7 by 7 grid completely without any holes, there is some additional bonus points that you can get as well. uh, this is going to be targeted for, again, 2 players, most probably family. You're not going to play this game with your game group or anything. This is for a relaxing evening. You are drinking tea, eating some biscuits, and just playing without thinking, without much tension. The space that the game requires is up to you, because however is your big, you can make your rondel big of these pieces. You can make them in a line closer to the players. So again, it doesn't have a big footprint in the sense of that you can customize that footprint. The game is not that pricey as well because of the small size of the game. It's simple. Pro tip: replace the buttons with actual buttons. Go to the market, look for some beautiful plastic real buttons, and replace them, and you will have more fun in playing this game rather than these cardboard buttons. Isn't
I've
that?
never felt a real button before. At least I don't think so.
All right. So hope that gives you the idea that what this game is all about, and if this game is going to be right for you. Now, even though I said that this is a relaxing game, but there is still a level of strategy in it. For example, in the start of the game, what you do want to get are a lot of button pieces, but these button pieces are normally odd shapes, because in the start you do want to increase the currency income that you want to get. Once you have enough currency, you know that whenever you will pass these buttons, you will keep getting buttons to buy any piece that you want. Because, for example, pieces like this long piece, it may not fill many spaces, but it's going to be fill a lot of empty space which might be left on your board. So it's a very useful piece, but you need to pay 7 for it, and it might not have enough buttons. Similarly, many of the big pieces, for example, this one is not going to have any buttons on them. But if they don't have any buttons, they cost less time as well. And you want to slow down your game near the end, because you want to see and try to complete all the holes in your quilt. So there is that level of strategy, that you are trying to get the buttons in the start, but those button pieces might be pricey. You're trying to manage your cost, trying to see that if I purchase this, the next 3 pieces are really interesting. I don't want my opponent to take them. So maybe I will take only this, and his options are limited to only these 3. And then once he takes any of this, these are the next 3 ones which I want to take. So those kind of decisions can come into play. So if you want to play more strategically, then the game does have enough depth, not too much depth, but enough depth that it can satisfy those strategic players as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hopefully this gives you the complete idea of whether this game is going to be right for you. In my opinion, it's just an okay game. It's not too fancy. There are
It's
many.
not something that you would normally play at a party event.
Yeah, you will not, after playing a game, you will not feel, ooh, that was interesting, I want to play it again. It's not going to give you those vibes. And that's why, in my opinion, it's just an okay game. In my opinion, it's overhyped. The industry has made this quintessential 2-player game, but in my opinion, it's just okay. There are many,
Overrated,
but
you mean?
what? Overrated. Yeah, it's overrated. So there are much better polynomial games that are available in the market. So, for example, Get My City. It's a fabulous game. If you have not,
It's gonna torture you, but you're gonna have fun while you're being tortured.
so if you have not checked our review, if you like polynomial games, Get My City, and you're going to have fun time. Check Project L. It's going to give you more fun than this one.
Think.
All right, that's it from our side, and don't forget to subscribe. Every subscription, every like helps us out. So please don't forget to subscribe. That's it.
Subscribe.
That's it from us. Happy gaming.
Happy gaming! Now if you excuse us, we'll go make some winter quilts. Because it's very cold.